make them money, and be really easy to work with.
This is one of those things where whether you have money or not, it's an experience thing. Hey, a wise person once told me, don't apologize.
You're right.
Welcome back to another Los Cuernos podcast. Today we're here with Cory and with Zeke. As usual, I'm going to be talking about current topics of things that are going on here at Los Cuernos and in the wider remit of obviously wine in general. So excited to jump into some topics here today. Why don't you guys say hi to the audience to start off as well?
Hello, welcome.
Welcome to the podcast.
Here we go. Nothing better than Los Cuernos to start off the pod.
I was just going to say, first thing that popped into mind was, I'm assuming you're going to talk about this week, but we can just take it from here. Why don't you tell the story about when I called you and I interrupted you so rudely at one of your video shoots?
Yeah, absolutely. So this was probably the greatest call I've ever taken at a shoot. So it was about a week ago. Cory calls me. And he's like, Rio. And I said, yeah, what's up? I'm at a shoot. Can it wait or can we? He's like, no, I got to tell you right now real quick. And I said, okay. And as you all know, Los Cuernos is a sponsor of the San Jose Earthquakes. And so Cory calls me up and he says, Rio, you're going to go and video Messi. I lost my mind. It's not quite Cristiano Ronaldo, but it is Messi. And yeah, it's pretty epic. So it is official. The Miami is coming to the San Jose Earthquakes to play them in a week.
At PayPal.
At PayPal Park, yeah. Very, very exciting stuff. Messi will be playing along with Suarez and a bunch of different players. And if those names mean to you, then we appreciate you. But yeah, it's just a pretty surreal moment. I don't think I would ever have been that close to Messi, and now I have the opportunity to do it, obviously in the context of Los Cuernos, and it's going to be a huge event for Los Cuernos as well. I think, Zeke, I'd love for you to speak a little bit about that, the VIP event and all of that sort of stuff, how you're going to be getting a selfie with Tim Cook, you know.
Yeah, this goes even bigger. When we signed this deal 2 years ago, or a year and a half ago, we had circled this date on the calendar because they didn't play them last year. And, you know, I'll go back one other story. Cory and I once went to a game a long time on his 30th birthday to go watch Kobe play Dirk. Basically, Dirk Nowitzki, the Mavericks, playing Kobe Bryant. I've seen LeBron, and I actually never saw Michael Jordan live. And knowing on the calendar that I get to see Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, arguably the best two players, period, the last 20 years, it's just going to be like so amazing. And then I asked, and I'm not as much of a soccer fan like Rio is, and I said, okay, there's Jordan and there's Kobe, LeBron. What is Messi like?
No, you said you were like, oh, it's like Jordan or Kobe coming, and then Rio goes, no, it's like Jordan, Kobe combined. And some even call him Jesus.
Yeah, combined with Jesus.
He is known to many as the Messiah.
Yeah, so it's going to be it's very surreal. The Earthquakes team it's the same over there. It's electric. I mean, and one of the reasons, it's Messi, right? So number one, probably his last year. Number two, he's never come to play in the Bay. And number three, even if he would, you know, with the Earthquakes, you know, when those bigger games happen, you know, sometimes they'll go to larger stadiums like Levi Stadium. But this is very unique. This is like an anomaly. This is Messi coming to PayPal Park.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a crazy, crazy part of it. And I think that it's hard for people to appreciate without going to the park, like to see that. Like it's very intimate, like close, you know, soccer field. And, yeah, to go and witness that is going to be crazy. For me to be like behind the goal there as well is going to be nuts, and getting video and photo of him. But also I think something that people don't appreciate is like how much effort and how much work it takes to get someone like Messi to the Bay. Like, I think that's something interesting, you know, a behind the scenes piece that you guys get a lot of insight into, that a lot of people maybe even watching this or fans of the Quakes or of Messi themselves don't even know, but like getting Messi to PayPal Park to play is like, he didn't come last year, and there's a reason for that. It's because the massive amount of investment that it takes, the money that it generates too, but like just to get him there is like, there's a huge Latin influence in San Jose area as well. And so the tickets are already sold out. They sold out a week ago for this game, or 2 weeks ago, I think, when they were released. And the only thing that's available right now is resale tickets to the game. And so like that part of getting a superstar like that to the Bay Area is great job on San Jose's part for that. But also I think it's amazing for us just to be kind of part of that. And also we've got our giveaway going on as well. So you can only buy resale tickets. They're like $300 now for resale tickets, but Los Cuernos is, gracious enough to its fans to give it 2 free tickets to a game, which I think is nuts. So
we are fortunate to be in this situation to have 2 tickets, and the resale value in our tickets, from what I've seen, is going to end up around $1,200 to $2,000. We have this ability to get a big Messi fan to come out and see the game. So someone that is going to follow us, we have this ability to make someone's dream come true, right?
It's one of those things where it's not a lot of times. If you have money, you can, kind of do whatever. But this is one of those things where whether you have money or not, it's an experience thing. Because a lot of these big stadiums, they can fit a ton of people, and Messi sure can sell the seats out. But PayPal has 18,000 seats, so this is a special thing. There's obviously the tie with Apple, that piece to it in the Bay, which maybe Zeke can speak to, But yeah, so at the game, shout out to Rio and Dune Media. The Earthquakes, they love you guys. They trust you guys. They've, he's had field access before, and we did, they did such a banger video last year. And so Rio is going to have field access for the game. And then we're bringing, we'll have a couple others join us too. So it'll be the 3 of us, and we're bringing James. So James and I will be we'll be sampling next to the Los Cuernos wine cart, kind of like normal, up at the stadium during the game, before the game. And then we'll also be doing the Soccer Mom of the Match, selecting Soccer Mom of the Match and doing that whole video. And then we are formally the VIP sponsor for the Messi game. So Los Cuernos is sponsoring the VIP cabanas. And so we'll also have kind of a branded card in there, sampling our wine, and Zeke and Gerardo, bringing our winemaker. Zeke and Gerardo will kind of be focused on that area. So I think that's where he's getting his picture with Tim Cook, but just being silly.
We are going to be the wine of the Apple party. So there's such an energy right now in the Bay for this game. Everyone's so excited, and Northern California is a huge soccer tradition. I would just say almost stronger than Southern California. So really into soccer, and he's coming. Town is alive. Apple's going to be there, and they're having a VIP party. So how I looked at it was, this is the top 3 company in the world, and then we could talk about profit, scope, impact, and they're going to have probably their top 200 employees in a small area drinking Los Cuernos. So you want to see Messi on the field? I want to see Tim Cook on the field. So Tim, if you're out there, we're entrepreneurs. Just a quick picture. We love you. We support.
Just take a quick sip of Los Cuernos,
that kid seeing Messi. I'll be the kid with Tim Cook. Why not?
Yeah. It's going to be surreal for sure. I'm sure in the moment we're going to be wrapped up in what's going on from all of the different kind of areas. But I think, I'd love to speak about that a little bit as well. The reason Apple is so involved is because Apple had a massive amount to do with getting Messi to America too. They put up a lot of money themselves, and so having him there in San Jose, right next to obviously Santa Clara, where their main office is and HQ is going to be epic. So I think I think it's a good bet that Tim Cook will be there. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it just feels like the energy that it's going to be just a super special day. We're just so excited.
Oh yeah. yeah, it's going to be. And I'm also, for some context as well, I'm flying in from Seattle, like the day off, and flying out in the morning. It's going to be the most intense 12 hours of my life, dude.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was the second part of our phone call when he was at a shoot. He was like, oh, crap, I'm going to be in Seattle, but I'll make it work. I'll make it work. He's like, I'll fly in, I'll fly out.
I called up the people that we're shooting for, and I said, all right, guys, so just don't ask any questions, but we're going to do a half day on the second day, and then we'll be back the third day.
They'll understand.
Exactly. So, it's messy.
Yeah, and then we'll also be able to, we'll be there. So whoever ends up, winning the giveaway that we're doing, I think there'll be something special there too, because they'll be at the game and so will we. So we'll be able to see them enjoy the game.
But I think, as you probably can tell, we're all extremely excited for the night, for the evening, and it's going to be a special one for sure.
I think the moment for me will be when they do the announcement of him and he comes out, however they do the lighting and that with him, and I look like goosebumps, right? It's gonna go crazy.
Yeah, and a full. I also have never seen PayPal Park full. Like it's gonna be just full to the rafters with people. So
I can't wait. I'm imagining the moment, because there's always this moment where our wine cart is situated right across from some of the suites where the season ticket holders, very close to where you enter, right? But it's the bridge where all the players come over, and it's like swamped anyways. Yeah. Imagine.
Yeah,
we're gonna need security.
Yeah,
Quakes, if you're listening, we'll need security. We'll need stanchions. We'll need like 20 times the wine.
No,
and
that's a guaranteed picture of Messi. So I'm going to ditch the wine cart. Sorry.
Are you already giving up on Tim Cook? Come on.
I'm going to do both. But I'm going to go stand on that walkway behind it with my phone. In the second,
there you go.
That'll be my Messi pick.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah,
I'm glad you're joining us, Rio.
Yeah, I'm stoked. It's going to be epic. But on the topic of fun and occasions and situations, Los Cuernos is now finding new formats to put itself in, to get itself in more locations and more places and make it more convenient, obviously, for our customers, the businesses that we work with that sell our wine. So why don't you guys talk a little bit more about that we're officially in kegs, and now that they're in our accounts. So why don't you talk about that?
Yeah, I think the greatest part about us being this smaller startup is how fast we can make this happen. I think Cory and I probably visited 1,000, maybe 1,200 accounts on our own in the last 18 months since we've had product. And our wine works in a lot of accounts, and some of them have said, hey, can you put it in a keg for us? And we thought about it initially, but then again and again and again we heard it. And so for some of the higher volume accounts, it's an opportunity for them to get a little better price and then sell really fresh wine. And so we decided to do it February, third week of February, I think. And
8 weeks ago at the most.
Yeah,
soup to nuts. Hey, we're gonna do keg wine to in the next room. We have kegs.
No, we are going to have our first keg at Bar 1502. A little story about that account. It's connected to the Obi Noodle House, which is a legendary account in San Diego, founded by Steve Yang and his brother. Steve Yang is the founder of Screwball Whiskey. I met Steve Yang in Bar 1502 when it was a build out. So they were just building it out. And we took those guys to Kentucky, picked out Maker's Mark whiskey barrels. And then Steve came back and told me about this whiskey thing, and he did it. So to be in this account, Tower Wine is just this culmination of relationships, supporting our partners, a high volume account. It's amazing. And then let me get my corporate voice here. Let me get my business voice here. If you worked for one of the big suppliers, to launch a product from concept to retail, normally 18 months to 24 months, it normally would cost you about $2 million or $1 million, and would take a lot of decision process. The coolest thing about having this dude here is amazing. Gerardo Sano's in our team, Nick Plinicky. We put this thing together in 8 weeks, and it's already in market. And that just is not possible in a large company. So that part, I'm super proud of all our advisors on our team to make this happen. And then, our mission is to basically like better wine, more accessible to more consumers at a fair price. And we're going to be doing that at this giant account. So I am over the moon. I cannot wait till like Kegs Tap. Rio, you're coming with us to do some video there, by the way, and the training.
Of course.
And this thing is going to be special, and I can't wait till we can talk about this in a couple of months.
Yeah, and one question I have, maybe Cory, you can answer this as well. I think I'd love for like consumers, and then also for other businesses, what you're talking about, how being a smaller startup, you can be so much more agile with like, bringing product to market or, whatever it may be. What difference does that make to the customers, to the accounts that we work with? Like, you spoke about how you'd been hearing this, right? Same thing, like, oh, can you get in a keg? Can you get in a keg? And you guys were able to execute that on that so fast. But what does that mean to them? What does that mean to them being able to, like you said, serve better premium wine to their customers at a better price? Like, what does that mean?
Well, you said it. We are able to respond to the customer. It's all about the customer. Let's be frank. And part of the main reason why this all works is because we did so many things different, but we started with the customer, then worked backwards. And so when we, 2 years ago, there was zero thought in our mind of doing keg wine, right? But we're constantly learning, iterating. And the feedback we got from retail, we're able to process it, identify, and then be like, hey, we should think about this. And we're like, we should do this. And then we can just do it. And so the impact it has is it shows, I think it just gives the most value to retail, because it's something that normally it just goes one in ear out the other, and they never see the end of like a request to a brand for like a line extension or innovation. So I just think just the ability to be nimble is special. But
follow-up question then to that one. As you guys grow, as you already are, across different states, even maybe internationally at some point, how do you guys maintain that level of like agility, speed to market with kind of productivity? Like you guys said, it puts the customer first. It ensures that we can respond to what they want. As the company gets larger, and like you said, large corporations take 18 to 24 months and like $2 million worth of decision making and research and stuff like that. How do you guys maintain that speed to market and, quick decision making as the company gets bigger?
That's a great question. I think for wine in particular, we're launching the Sauvignon Blanc and the Brut, and then we have 2 more coming in the summer, the fall, and beyond kegs. I don't think there's many more formats we can do. I think for the keg piece, it fit the alignment of what we wanted to do. The big problems with wine are consumer trial options, freshness, and then really stylistically getting a wine you can't trust. So we were restaurant operators. We ran a couple of restaurants. We also worked in a wine bar and then I worked in off-premise. So we built this, the first goal of making products, you have to be able to make other people money. So by doing this keg format and the way we've priced it, we've allowed our restaurant partners to make more money than the cans they would and sell better wine than they currently have. And their customers are going to love it. So if I go back to Bar 1502, and I'm not doing this to make fun of the wine that they have, currently the one they're pouring, it was just a lower quality on a cost basis than ours. We intentionally lowered the cost on ours because we believe in the ability to get it out and people to try it. And so to answer your question, I don't think there's much more innovation on cans and kegs as far as Los Cuernos does. If it does, we'll be ready. I think the innovation part will be with the go-to-market changes as technology changes, distribution footprint changes, and we just have to continually serve our customers, our retail and restaurant customers, and then our end consumers. Continue to make a great product and talk to them, and that will supersede all the other stuff.
Yeah. And I think like you both have said a lot of the time, it's like, and I think from both of those answers it comes out of this, right? It's like the way in which you guys maintain speed and the way in which you maintain efficiency and the way in which you ensure that everything aligns with the brand is through just those two core things. Is it making our accounts money? Because we want to make them money.
Yes.
And is it delivering better quality wine to our consumers at a better price point for them as well? You know,
Bingo.
and like those two are like such a strong guiding principle that I'm confident to say, having not the experience of you guys, but having been now looking at wine and understanding the industry for the past 2 years, like no other wine brand is doing. Like no other wine brand is doing, is taking taking it to that extent as well, where it's like, we will never like give up on our consumer or on our accounts. We will always strive to make them money and improve the experience for our customers. And that, like, I think strength of just direction and alignment for me is what I see every time, like when we walk into an account or we go and do some video in an account or something like that, people get, right? They understand that passion. They understand that, like, I just want to do it right, for you as a customer and for you as an account. And like that is for me, I just think like the most special thing about Los Cuernos, right? And something that, I don't know, the rest of the wine industry could probably take a leaf out of our book with,
Okay. I know I'm hogging this up, Cory. This is my last one. But you said something so amazing right there. So yes, it's about making the money, but I want to go one step further here. We say this: make them money and be really easy to work with. And so when I say make the money is we're going to do some of the work for them. So we're going to make it easy to train your staff. We're going to make it easy to price it. And we're not going to complain about doing that work, because we're going to make it easy to buy and sell Los Cuernos. Make it easy to buy and sell higher quality fresh wine to your customers. That's what we want. And then the bigger thing we want to do is when we sell this to you, we want to add so much value to you that whatever price it is, it's a discount. So we come to the account, Cory wins them over, talks to them, trains the staff. You come in and you do videos, and they're seeing these local videos. And now this can here is like bringing me human beings that are helping me. They're helping me sell the wine. Now they're doing videos. They're connecting me to local people. People are going to copy us. Let's just say this. And they're going to bring in their can. And they're going to maybe get close in the quality, maybe not, but they won't be able to add the other value that we do, because they just want to make money, and we want to bring as much value as we can so that no matter what they pay, they feel like it's not enough. And so that is how we see it.
I love that. That's so powerful. And almost, you've said this before, which I really love as well, but like the work that you guys put in to make it easy to sell the wine and all of that, also, it pays respect to the heritage and the prestige of that account, right? Wherever it is, it's like we respect the amazing food that you make. And so we want to come in with a solution that's easy and premium and tastes amazing.
Yes.
To respect the work that you have done already for your customers to deliver a great experience for them,
Yeah. You tell Cory, I'm not going to hog with the mic, but
Hey, a wise person once told me, don't apologize.
You're right. So I think it goes, when we say like our partners too, I would even say distribution. And our goal is to make them money and to be easy to work with again. And so we're running a distributor incentive. We talk with the management. We talk with the ownership. I said, how's this goal? Is that too far, too much? How is the deal? And we made the deal super simple. We make it one goal. It's all in our team and their team. And again, it's the core fundamentals that we're doing to our partners, that it's so much value to them that they want to do it.
Yeah.
And from being on the other side as a restaurateur and working as a distributor, people would just want to take from us all the time. I mean, Cory, like, I'm going to come in and sell you something. Buy my stuff, do this. And the only value that they could bring was whatever money we could make. And so that's a commodity. And so for us, by adding that much value, we separate ourselves even beyond the wine quality.
Yeah, love it. And I'll tie this up in a bow. Kegs are amazing. We're so excited about them for a lot of different ways. We had never even thought. going to allow us to reach way more people. A lot of these accounts, like Zeke was talking to, like Bar 1502, from the beginning, they've always done their wine in kegs by the glass. That was where we're like, oh, we should probably do kegs. And then like Viejas Arena, where San Diego State plays, they do kegs. We're like, okay. And then a lot of other interest from retailers, whether they're, it's usually operational driven, high volume or, tabs.
Can you dive into that a little bit,
Sure.
Cory? Like why does, for all of these accounts, why does a keg make more sense than a bottle or a can or whatever it is? Like, what about a keg?
Beer has figured it out. And so we're not reinventing the wheel. It's just we're like thinking about things different. For wine, whatever reason, everybody puts up this. I don't think they do it on purpose. They're just so used to it's like head in sand, head in sand, head in sand. Beer figured it out. And this is where wine will end up. Mark our words. The can and the keg. And the reason is freshness. 1,000,000%. The can, glass and a half, fresh every damn time. The keg, I mean, before you tap it, call it eternity. Once you tap it, it's fresh for, I don't know, it's like months and months and months and months. Beer figured it out. Wine will follow. So for the consumer, this works, it's portable, it's different, but when you're on premise and you're trying to, sometimes space is limited, sometimes you have excess taps, sometimes you just have a higher volume. And so kegs make sense and they're used to it with beer already. So
yeah, no, there's a restaurant chain called, I think, Bushfire Kitchen, and they have wine on tap. And in fact, I will go there because they have the Trefethen Cabernet by the glass, and it's every
Great
time,
wine, yeah.
and it's a red, and it's solid every time. In fact, even I go there, I'm just like, I know when I go here, I'm going to get a glass of wine.
Yeah.
And the fact that you roll the dice as a wine lover is just crazy. You don't roll the dice of beer. You don't roll the dice of cocktails. I mean, it's
So a couple other things kind of answer your question about keg wine. One, a lot of people don't think about it. They're like, what? Keg wine, keg wine? And those same people have most likely drank keg wine. They just don't know.
Yeah.
So a lot of these big operators, going back to it was the retail demand that we kept hearing and interest is, we're Zeke and I each worked at Southern, Young's, RNDC, whatever. And I remember specifically in, I think it was like 2016 or so, when I was at Young's, it was so hard to sell keg wine. It's like the infrastructure really wasn't there. Kind of the buy-in from retail wasn't there. Those times are gone. And so a lot of these places, a good, few examples, even like Tanner's Burgers in Oceanside, Michelin star chef Brandon, amazing, all these amazing spots. He only does his wine by the glass and keg. And a lot of people just don't realize that. And not that they should, because at the end of the day, they're just getting a fresh glass of wine. And so, yeah, there's a lot of nuance to it. And
just like, I don't know. For me, it's so ironic talking about the wine industry every time now that we do, because you guys just given me such a new perspective on it. But like, to think that, to think how much effort has gone into getting you a fresh glass of wine every time, and it has nothing to do with the bottle is like just ironic to me. It's just like everybody's like, oh, canned wine, whatever. But it's like, you like you said, you've probably drunk wine from a keg. It's just a small keg.
yeah.
I
want to say one part is that we love bottled wine, and bottled wine is 84% of the business. We like wines from Italy, Spain, Australia, South America. It's the beginning part of the wine industry that we're fixing.
Yep.
We're fixing it.
the beginning part, the consumer's journey.
Like Rio, you're in your 20s, and if you go to a place and they make you try something terrible all the time, you're gonna go try beer, whiskey, tequila, RTDs, kombucha. And so the bottom line should love us, because our kegs and our cans are going to give someone a great first experience. And now they can go to Bordeaux, they can go to Rioja, they can go to Mendoza. They're going to drink different wines from all over the world, from Germany,
Piedmont, Nebbiolo.
but we're turning them all off by this terrible customer experience at the beginning, because it was profitable and okay to do it for a very long time. And it is not anymore.
Yeah. And I think the other thing, maybe I'd like to actually discuss this with you, and maybe we can kind of start to wrap things up after this. But something I want to speak to you guys about. So, Coachella has been going on the past couple of weekends, right? Yeah. So there was a ton of really, really interesting stuff from a marketing perspective, and then also just from a statistical perspective that came out from Coachella for the past 2 weekends. So Coachella basically has become like a wellness retreat. They had like the lowest consumption of alcohol from like the stands ever, right? And they had the highest, like there was like all of these activations from these athleisure brands and stuff like that, like On Cloud and all of this with, ice baths and runs. They had like 5Ks and stuff going on at Coachella. It's like, what the hell is happening? So all of this stuff kind of happening. And it was really interesting for a lot of people because it's like, wow, this generation is like really heading in a completely different direction than what we've previously been used to. And the other part of that as well is we're seeing like more from a wider standpoint is people like really, really care about what they're putting in their body now. Like CrossFit and High Rocks. Like High Rocks is becoming really, really popular. It came out of Germany. And for that, like to compete in that sort of sport, you have to be really attentive to what you're putting in your body and like your macros, all of those sorts of things to make sure you're fueling properly for what you're doing. And, myself as well, I've over the past couple of years got really, really into my endurance sports, which I was always a, soccer player. I was a sprinter growing up and
training for the triathlon.
Yeah.
I see you.
And like cycling and all of that. And so
the saddle,
understanding how things fuel my body is become like really important to me and understanding it. And like I said, we're seeing it as like kind of a global trend for this generation as well. And for me, again, this is another area that Los Cuernos just stands out, is that the fact that we're building to a standard that people can expect. And that's something else that is becoming very popular with this generation, is that they don't want something that they've necessarily been sold to with a story or with a, they have to feel some emotion to kind of buy or whatever. It's just like, I want to know that what I'm getting to put in my body is clean. I know where it's coming from, and it's the same every time I get it. I just had the pleasure of listening to a podcast from Bub's Naturals yesterday, and the way in which they're doing that for supplementation, because that's been an industry that's just been destroyed by bodybuilding and lots of crap and chemicals that they're putting in things, is that he's just said the easy way I do it is I go and find for whatever supplementation thing I'm doing, either hydration or for all the different stuff, I go and find the best and highest test you can do for like athletes, and I just make sure that our product is above that. Like it passes it with flying colors, and no one can argue with it, because then everybody knows that product is true and true, absolutely solid, and I can trust it, And I think that's something about Los Cuernos that people don't even necessarily know or understand, is that, it's so clear cut in terms of we're building to a standard. It is healthy inherently because it's wine. It's not a seltzer. It's not something, with other chemicals in. And so, I just maybe want to have you guys talk a little bit more into
There's so much there, Rio.
I know. There's so much. But it's just an interesting piece that when I saw that stuff about Coachella, it was making me think about this is a product that this generation really appreciates. Right. Yeah. And we'll continue to appreciate.
Well, Zeke, he's bursting at the seams. I'll let him in a second, but a couple of quick thoughts is like one of the, when you say that, it makes me think, we're dealing with a lot of different things these days. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I think, there's, some could be attributed to just where we are right now as a society, especially with young people. But we love it. It's about it. One of the words that kind of jumped out at me when you were saying all that is balance. Balance. And so, one of the beautiful things is this is single serve, and we support that, not the overindulgence, not the let's just do keg stands and what are the thing with the key, even though it's been done with these
shotgun.
Cans. Yep, shotgun. And all that, but And then there's the whole thing too that people don't know about wine just being naturally all the good stuff.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that stuff and around forever. But I love the just how kind of authentic and thoughtful, kind of everybody's being, and they're just kind of, it's not just like, let's just get wasted to get wasted.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. I didn't know that was happening at Stagecoach.
Yeah. Stagecoach, Coachella, all of that stuff it's been kind of, and like you said, there's always a time and place to have a drink. Like, it's not saying this generation doesn't drink for sure, but it's just like the conscientiousness of it, and like you said, the balance, and realizing that natural raw products are always just going to be better for you than some substitute.
Can I tell him? We had a conversation just earlier. He's like, "Hey, I didn't post this yet. I'm doing it anyway," because you touched on it, and I know it's maybe part of what he's going to say, but it's like literally just earlier. He's like, "Hey, I didn't post this. I want to show it to you," and he basically just made this meme. You could take it.
I mean, we could post on there. It showed the wine on one side, and so I got to take one step back. So I have to be careful, like whenever on a podcast where that's saying it's healthy, we can get in trouble for that. So I want to say that I was in Illinois. I've been selling wine spirits since I worked in a liquor store at 17 years old in 1994. Wow. And times has changed. Like, people don't binge anymore. It's actually what I really like about this next generation is I was in Chicago, and I remember sitting next to two young females at a bar, and one ordered like a Maker's Mark Manhattan, and they ordered a Jameson Neat. When I was younger, I was drinking like Captain Morgan Coke or sweet stuff mixed with a mixer, and they were just drinking higher quality beverages, but they were drinking less. And so that's how I feel the generation is going to be, just more moderation, but higher quality. And that's kind of, how we think about Los Cuernos. I think about it as a natural product. Gosh, I'm going to go here, but there was this Wall Street Journal article that came out about a year ago, or maybe 2 years ago, and it talked about all these cancers in young people. And I read the whole thing, and it was really like they don't know the exact reason, but their leaning was that we're just ingesting chemicals that we've never ingested before in the past 30, 40 years. A pushback against these processed foods, and we see what they've put in our bread and our cereals and stuff. And I feel bummed that I was tricked my whole life. I ate a ton of these things. And so now, like, eggs were great. And then in the 80s and 90s, eggs were bad, and now they're great again. I think wine was before chemicals. It's 6,000 years old, and everyone's enjoyed it. So that part of it being a natural product, and you just get to have one, and human beings kind of know what's going to go on with their bodies with it, is something that's safe and that's been proven. So that part about wine, I think we're going to tell that story more because it's just marketed towards luxury and lifestyle. And we're saying, like, literally 6,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago, 1,000 years ago, 500 years ago, 200 years ago, kings, queens, peasants. Part of the celebration was wine. And now I'm going deeper here. They traded out nuts. They traded out nuts for chips, right? They traded out eggs for like a put together patty. And then they traded wine for a processed beverage. That's like chemicals and soda water and artificial sweeteners and colors in a can because it's high margin. So it's hard to grow something in the field and have a farmer and squeeze grapes and make it. It's very easy to put chemical. Okay, it's not easy. They got to get scientists, and they got to get a factory, and then they put it all together. Not all canned cocktails. There are going to be some that are natural, doing things the right way. Not talking about those. But if you're putting in artificial sweeteners, artificial colors, you're just trying to make a high margin product at the expense of your people that are drinking it. So.
And that's what we're saying, right? This generation is just not standing for that anymore.
No.
Really, like that's just what moved away. And also, what you spoke about as well is about experience, right? About the experience of the consumer of whoever it is. Like creating an experience around your product now is also way more important to us than it was previously. Like it didn't really matter that much if you're going to binge drink. It's like I'll just go whatever, right? I don't really care about. But like sitting down next to those two girls is like. they wanted a higher quality product that they were, and they wanted a higher quality experience, you know, and even like my girlfriend Brooke too, like we'll go out for dinner and she's really interested and really loves learning her cocktails, and like that's her, but we won't go and have like 10, like we'll go and we'll have one or
just
two.
Be very thoughtful about selecting
exactly.
like the one
Yeah.
she's
and she, like she doesn't want to, like I can see it when she's making the decision, like she doesn't want to over consume, like the overriding things, like I don't want to have like 4, right? Because I don't want to try all of these ones. I want to pick one that's going to be really good, and we'll ask the waitress or the waiter, like, hey, like what is your recommendation for here between these two? And it's very much now for us, and I feel like we're, you know, fairly, you know, common for our generation too. It's like we want that experience of what we're going to have. You know, it's not just about I want whatever you like. I'm not going to go and get the same thing every time. It's like, what do we have? What can we experience new? What's different? And again, that's what I love about Los Cuernos, right? It's the experience of consumption, which is easy and makes it. There's no rules attached to it, right? It's just a lot easier for me to be able to have that experience of having really great wine, you know.
It became such a profitable business for the corporations, some of the restaurants, and they just continually charged more and made more expensive things. And wine was not like that for the first 5,550 years or 70. It was literally the last 20 or 30 where they've kind of ruined it. So our dream is seeing someone with a burger, a delicious burger, a burrito, a slice of pizza, and you could have a good glass of wine. And I'm not kidding. It was hard to do in some places, and we go to places where they don't have wine. Or
and we've been doing, and that's why we did this, right? It was doing that after, literally we got after our, you know, we'd get off of our server shifts at La Opera in Long Beach, that happened.
Yeah.
We're like, we're hungry, but we just want a burrito.
Yeah.
But we love wine.
Yeah, I want to change subject here. I'm going to bring up this one example.
Go for it.
About bad wine. So yesterday, Cory and I had the school event where our daughters went to SeaWorld. And there is just all these moms and kids everywhere because it's
like field trip day.
It's field trip day for everyone. And then, you know, Cory and I can't help ourselves. So I look at my wife, I'm like, hey, we're having a great time. Look, the girls are on a ride.
Like, and what he means by that is talking about business, looking at the outlets, all the stuff.
So we got permission, and Cory and I went to all of the outlets that sell alcoholic beverages at SeaWorld. It's a beautiful place, great rides. It's by the ocean. And the product that all the moms there would, and there's a majority moms, and no talking about it, was probably 80% moms, 20% dads. And the wine that they sold, let me go first. They had good beers, they had good canned cocktails, they had different stuff. They sold this wine called Copa di Vino. And if you're on here, just put in ChatGPT or Grok, is Copa di Vino good? Is it a deal? Watch the answer. It is a notoriously bad wine in a plastic thing sitting out in the sun, and everyone knows it's bad, and so no one is going to drink it, and then they're going to say, oh, we don't sell wine, that's why we're not going to bring a good one. See, so it's kind of self-fulfilling prophecy, and that is exactly what we're solving in a situation like that at SeaWorld.
And again, just to highlight that as well, like I don't have the knowledge that you guys have, but it seems so ironic that the wine industry, all the accounts accept the wine industry as it is, where it's like, you know, I got this wine in because people, you know, want to drink wine sometimes. I just got this wine in. It's like they don't even understand the fact, like you said, that it's so crap that it's not going to sell. They're not going to make any revenue or money from it, so they're going to just be like, we're going to axe wine completely because we're not making any money off this anyway. But in the same way as if they would, you know, shop around between the beers that they want, right? Because they know and they trust brands that do a good job of, you know, Bud and all of these different ones. It's like, why aren't we doing the same for wine? You know, why aren't we giving our consumers a good product? Like, why are we just accepting like,
it's hard. It's hard to run a restaurant. They have so much to deal with. So we try not to judge and just try to take it as like a,
and like it's not on the accounts though, right? It's like, it's the industry, right? It's the, like you said, it's the industry. It's like, the wine industry isn't selling itself to its consumers and to its accounts in a way that's their language. You know, they're just like making shit up, and it's just like, okay, well, that was just so clear cut right there. It's just, okay, well, the wine industry didn't serve its account there at all. You know, we gave a bad product. Obviously, people are not going to like it. You know, if you served really terrible burgers at the park, right? People are never going to buy the burger. So you have to make it acceptable, right? At least to a point, right? Los Cuernos blows it out of the park, right? It's like having a Michelin star chef there on but that's what I'm saying. It's like we just don't even that wine just doesn't even have that standard.
Rio, I'll go one further for you. You did something amazing there.
Okay.
That wine is the worst price to value product in the entire SeaWorld. So if I bought a soda, if I bought chips, I almost got fired up, Corey. I calmed myself down. If I buy soda, if I buy chips, if I buy any food there, even a soda is delicious. Even French fries delicious. May not be good for me, but delicious. Yeah. That Copa di Vino is gross. So it's like, it's a punishment because I love wine. I have to drink that. Like, it's mind-boggling to me that people generally pay more for wine in all these restaurants, but in certain locations, they will give you the worst possible and the cheapest one, which is against all the customers. So, yeah, it's the worst product at SeaWorld is the wine they sell. And
there we go.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, it's just the nature of the beast, and people there, everybody we talk to there, they know it. The bartenders, a lot of the operators, they just know there just hasn't been a solution.
Yeah.
But now we have one.
You know what? We're local, SeaWorld. We're coming to help you out. We're going to bring you a lot more revenue and happy moms and customers. Give us a call.
Yeah, I love it. And with that, I think we can kind of wrap up. We'll keep it a little bit shorter this week. We've got some other filming to do, but we appreciate all of you for watching the podcast as always, and we appreciate the love and the support from all of the fans. And like the guys always say, we're just always continually trying to serve you guys as customers, as accounts, whether it be the content that we create here, elevating you guys, or whether it be the products that we bring in keg format or in different wine types, or in wherever it is. We're always trying to do our best to serve that. So thank you all for watching. Do you guys have any closing remarks that you guys want to add?
Yes, thanks to everybody that's been supporting us on the journey. We did hit 2 years in April, so it is super special. This guy's awesome. I'll say that.
Well, there we go. Cheers to Los Cuernos and to all of you.
Cheers. More big announcements to come.
Let's go.